Okay guys, so today I have some really disturbing news for you. It's coming from Germany again, and it's a pretty insane plan. So apparently the BMW Supervisory Board chairman has special plans for hybrid owners. So hybrid cars are cars that can be either run with electricity or with gas or diesel. And there are quite a few people who have hybrid cars, but apparently a lot of hybrid car owners, they're mostly using fossil fuels to refill their car instead of using electricity. But this is something that car manufacturers don't like, and now they want to force the customer that they are recharging their car more often using electricity. And this is how they want to force the customer. In an interview, the BMW Supervisory Board chairman talks about throttling the engine power of plug-in hybrid cars that are charged too infrequently. Can you imagine that? It's unbelievable. The chairman's proposal is particularly far-reaching when it comes to plug-in hybrids. The manager considers sanctions conceivable for drivers who consistently fail to use their vehicles in electric mode despite the availability of a charging function. One measure would be for a car manufacturer to be able to document and even penalize usage patterns. They want to penalize usage patterns. If a driver never charges their battery, the engine power could be reduced. Technically, this is feasible. So now, if you're a bad boy and you just, decide for whatever reason that you don't want to use electricity to recharge your car, instead you are using fossil fuels, your car will drive with less speed, right? Technically, this is feasible. They can say, hey, you didn't behave correctly, so now we want you to recharge your car more with electricity, otherwise your car is going much less with speed. Yeah? Engine power could be reduced. Oh my God. If I'm buying and purchasing a car, it's my car, and I want to be able to decide what kind of fuel I'm using, and it's my decision as a customer to decide, hey, today I want to use electricity, or maybe the next day I want to use no electricity. So this is my personal decision. If you want to support my channel, the best way to do so is to buy a Odenwolf knife. Odenwolf is a really awesome company. They make high quality knives like this one here for a really good price. And this one happens to be a Scandinavian camping knife. And I really like this knife. I always have it in my car. And if you check out their website, you will find many other great knife models. And with my discount code Lilly10, you will get a 10% discount. So if you want to support my channel, make sure that you check out the affiliate link in the description below. The background to this is the ongoing debate surrounding plug-in hybrids, whose official fuel consumption figures are often significantly exceeded in everyday driving when the combustion engine is predominantly used. This poses a problem for the manufacturers because the CO2 credit for manufacturers is assessed based on data collected during real-world driving. Yeah. So there's a fuel consumption monitor on board in the car, and this is documenting if you're using your car with diesel or gas or with electricity. And this has been actually mandatory for all new vehicles since 2022. It is therefore in the manufacturer's interest for customers to drive their hybrid cars in electric mode, because otherwise the penalty payments to the European Union will increase considerably. What the heck? So basically the EU is blackmailing the car manufacturers to make sure that people use the hybrid car in electric mode? That's crazy. What is this? Is this socialism, or is this already communism? I don't know. I'm wondering what consumer rights activists say about this. The chairman describes this as a behavioral problem that discredits the technology as a whole. Yeah, so what? So let's say I purchased a hybrid car, so what? If I say the electricity price is too high, I'd rather go with gas or diesel, then this is my choice. Technically, it's possible to document charging behavior and draw conclusions from it. As a conceivable measure, he even suggests reducing engine power for users who never charge their batteries. It wouldn't be that difficult to create a certain obligation to charge. The Bentley CEO also has expressed similar views. It wouldn't be that difficult to create a certain obligation to charge your car with electricity. And the CEO also compared this to the AdBlue system for diesel cars, where the car ultimately won't start if the AdBlue tank is empty. What the hell is going on? This is crazy. All of this is super crazy. It seems to be our freedom is lost with the salami tactic in every area of our lives. Yeah, this is basically the opposite of freedom. So I'm really glad that I'm driving this old Audi. It's more than 15 years old now, I believe. So it's still a very good car, but it doesn't have all of this surveillance crap going on inside. And it also doesn't have GPS, so it's really old. So nobody can tell where I'm going unless I have my phone on, of course, or with me. All of those electric vehicles and the heat pumps, they are going to drive up electricity prices. And then it's also no surprise when people decide to rather use gas or diesel in their car because the electricity price is so high. Also, those electric vehicles and heat pumps, they are putting a lot of pressure on the electric grid, including solar panels. So solar panels and even wind turbines are extremely volatile, and they put our electric grid at risk for blackouts, for damage, and so on. So because of this issue, and because solar panels and also wind turbines cannot create a reliable base load, a lot of countries now have to react in order to save their energy grid. So now, for example, Netherlands is reacting, and they are saying due to overload, regions in Netherlands refuses electricity connections to newly built houses. The transition to more renewable energy is pushing the grid infrastructure to its limits in the Netherlands. They are now pursuing a different approach than in Germany, and it sounds unremarkable at first, but the regional grid operator in Utrecht announced a temporary pause to keep electricity grid safe. They won't connect houses anymore to the grid. Behind this lies a drastic measure. From July 1st, no new connection will be made to the grid in the greater Utrecht area. The reason? Grid overload. The hold is limited to the city and surrounding area. And yet this is a first in the country. A new kitchen or heat pump could become impossible. The energy transition relies on the expansion of renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power. At the same time, fossil fuels like oil and gas are being replaced by electric alternatives such as heat pumps. The energy transition, including electric alternatives such as heat pumps and electric vehicles, requires a charging infrastructure. Yeah. But where's this infrastructure? We don't have it. And it's super expensive. Also, it's not really feasible to store electricity in batteries. You would need an extreme amount of batteries to store electricity for an entire city just for 1 or 2 hours. It's crazy. So we will always need something which is delivering a baseload which is consistent and reliable. So whether this comes from nuclear power plants or natural gas powered plants or coal plants, somewhere the energy has to come from. So now a lot of experts are warning that we will get continuous brownouts or even blackouts because of this energy situation. And the only thing the European Union has to do is to push for more electric vehicles. And now even customers are getting penalized if they are not charging their hybrid cars with electricity. And all of this is really crazy. It's as if politicians haven't thought this through. But actually, maybe they have thought this through. Because what happens if the electricity price goes up? 50%, more than 50% of the electricity companies is mostly owned by the governments. So they are making a huge amount of money with us. Yeah. So instead of taxing us into oblivion with just the income tax or the value-added tax in Europe, no, they are also raising the price of electricity and of natural gas. They are saying, hey, we just increased the price of everything and we will win, because we either win with the income tax, or we will win with the value-added tax, or we just win with higher electricity prices because more than 50% is ours anyway. So this is how you can completely rip off your own citizens. And this is what's being done to the citizens of Europe, that at the end of the month you have no money left, and actually they don't want you to be rich, right? They want you to be poor, so you have to go to work, and so they get their money. And now a lot of people get less and less children, so very often only one child, and the government doesn't like that, because hold on a second, if there's only one child, this one child will get inheritance from 2 grandparents and maybe some aunt or something. So in fact that child doesn't have to work full-time, and that child can work part-time, maybe even inherit a house or something, or a flat, and the government doesn't like it. So this is why they're always thinking about introducing some kind of inheritance tax, so that they can get some money back, right? So all of this is a downward spiral, and it either will end in an economic collapse, or the second alternative is that they will make a war. And very often in the history of time we have seen that if there's a collapsing country, the governments, politicians or kings, they try to make a war at the end, right? They try to win with the fists, by death and destruction. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on here in Europe. Alright guys, so this is it for today. Thank you for watching, and we see each other next time.